I'm Madison Bailey from Outer Banks, and if you haven't seen episode 1 yet, then click off, because we're talking spoilers. Wake up. So the plane crash day was split up a little bit. We had the plane that they put in the ocean that I filmed, I think, the majority of that scene for me. And then we had on-stage interiors of more of the dialogue happening.
So the exterior, we really landed a plane in the ocean, like in Barbados. So we had like a stage set up like in the ocean. So we really had to like go in the plane and swim around the plane.
But that day in the water, it was a tough day. I mean, this whole season has been, season 3 is so physically challenging.
A lot of swimming, a lot of very tiring water treading in the water all day. It took us maybe 2-3 days to do that sequence.
We started the day at 6 a.m., was comfortable getting in the water, just trying to like feel out the set, being in the water.
And we're in the water, so we're not mic'd, so we're not, and the lines and like the action of it all, it was so chaotic, and we were like, did you get your line out? Am I supposed to say something? What's going on?
I left that day with many scratches and bruises, and just very tired from swimming. And there were highs and lows. It was so beautiful when we first started. The plane was in the water, and there was like just this gorgeous rainbow right above it, and it just felt like it was gonna be a good day, and it did. The day went shockingly smooth, considering how big of a piece the plane was.
What's so awesome about the show is the show gets to throw us, even the actors, into pretty fun stunts. Being in the actual ocean with an actual plane crashed into the ocean, full lost moment. It was a blast. It was right. You don't get to do that every day.
When you read it in the script, I think this show is an amalgamation of like, how are we going to do this? How are we actually going to make this happen? Is this realistic, or is it going to be a lot of CGI? But we don't do that. We do it in real life, and we do it in real time, and shoot everything on location. So it was a fun one. It was pretty cool to see, and then to see it come to life on screen was really cool as well.
Well, the locals kind of were like, why is there a plane in the water? Like, that doesn't normally happen out there, so everybody was wondering like why it wasn't the news I think came and like we're like reporting on it, and then they were like, oh, it's like the Outer Banks people. They're shooting. So yeah, it was cool. It was really cool that they put that plane actually out there in that water, and like, we swim around it, just kind of starting off from the jump, just really action-packed.
Is everybody good? JJ, wake up, man. We gotta get out.
And then when we did the interiors, we set up like a stage in Charleston, so it was kind of like a Universal ride. So we had the same plane, and we had it on hydraulics.
We had this huge water tank that we built with the plane that we had disassembled and then reassembled in Barbados, then sent it back to Charleston, reassembled it, and turned it into this giant sort of lift with these hydraulics, and it would shoot us down the back of the plane.
So like it would move, like, and even the crash, they put it in like a giant pool. So like when we would crash, it would like hit the ground and the water would come splashing up.
When it crashed, he would just send us forward. And so we would be like actually hanging on to things in the plane. And then, the crash, he sent us all the way forward. And so we were truly doggy piled at the bottom of this plane, and there was water, and it didn't feel like we were acting. I was smushed.
It was fun. It was literally like, this is a ride. This is like a fun ride.
Who are you?
Me? My name is Carlos Singh. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Cameron. And Miss Carrera, I do apologize for the rough tactics in bringing you here. But please, come. Sit down. Come now. I don't bite.
With Singh, he's ruthless. He doesn't have anything that like calms him down. I feel like with Ward, I feel like, Sarah Cameron is like his soft spot. So as long as there's a little bit of Sarah Cameron, he can like, be talked off the ledge. With Singh, there isn't. He doesn't have an Achilles heel. So
New villain is, I think it's like, feels a little bit like a super villain. for Outer Banks. It's kind of like things just keep getting, the villains keep getting a little scarier, and it's fun to see. And I think Andy did a great job. Shout out Andy McQueen at channeling a new type of energy for a villain. So it's a fun time.
Yeah, Andy came in and absolutely killed it this season. We were very excited, when they say they were bringing on somebody else who was kind of like supposed to be this like all-encompassing bad guy who had been like kind of planning this, like been kind of controlling the treasure hunt since the beginning, and it needed to be somebody who felt intimidating, and Andy gave this really authentic performance and like made some character choices that were really cool and like, sort of out of left field and really, really worked and made him a very intimidating bad guy. So shout out to Andy for coming in and like being so cool. He's a great person, by the way, too. Like, just a really cool guy. Like we went and we had lunch a couple times. He took this dope photo of me that's on my IG. Like he's a sick person, and then like just him being able to portray that character, that the villain, like he was having fun that entire time.
Hey, you just done talking? Hey!
It's locked.
When Rafe and Kiara are united again, I think it's just an interesting plot point. It's taking two characters kind of plucked out of their normal groups and kind of smashed together and being forced to have to solve a really, really complex issue. It's like either we work together or we die. So just like having the stakes at that level was really interesting, and I think two characters who butt heads quite a lot was also made for some good drama, some good storytelling.
Off first reading, I was really excited because Drew's such a talented actor. I was excited to see both of our characters who could not be more different interacting on screen. And I think what we came up with was kind of cool.
And when they got thrown together there, it wasn't really what we initially thought what we were going to do, but it just sort of happened. You're like, God, like this is so, we kept going on, like this is so interesting, like they're together. And we almost felt like we should have done it even longer than we did. Like where
it's so wrong, it must be right.
Yeah, there's something about it that was just super fun, that they that they're together. And when she pushes Rafe off the boat, we definitely second guessed that, thinking like maybe we should just keep them together and see what happens. So it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was a plan. It was more like you just feel like it just felt interesting and fun.
I mean, I think the audience is going to be just as shocked as we were when we read it. We were like, oh, this is going to be crazy.